On June the 12th of 1963, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote a letter to clergymen who argued that there was no place for the social gospel, which meant that a pastor and churches should not be involved in fighting for civil rights. In this letter, he stated, and I quote, "Just as the 8th century prophets left their little villages and carried their thus saith the Lord far beyond the boundaries of their hometowns, and just as the Apostle Paul left his little village of Tarsus and carried the gospel of Jesus Christ to practically every hamlet in the city of the Greco-Roman world, I too am compelled to carry the gospel of freedom beyond my particular hometown. Like Paul, I must constantly respond to the Macedonian call for aid. When the Brookland Northeast Church heard that our school district, which meant our village, was in need of aid, we stepped forward. Like so many other churches, including Living Springs Lutheran Church, The Brook, North Trenton Baptist Church, Ford City, Forest Lake Presbyterian Church, and others have done, we began raising money to either assist students who were affected, pay for their school lunches, or created food pantries to either assist students who were affected, help them pay for their school lunches, or whatever they needed to make sure that no child went hungry. We began with our adopted school, Ridgeview High School, and after our first donation of $3,000 given to the church, Food Line, our neighborhood food line, then donated money to Westwood High School. Then two of our church members from the Wilson family and the Stewart Jones families helped create the Justice Stewart Food Pantry at Richland Northeast High School, and we were currently in a fundraising effort to do the same at Spring Valley High School and then for Blythewood High School. In spite of an email some parents might have received, churches in this community are very active in serving the needs of our students, and your tithes and your offerings are literally blessing children every day of our lives. Well, last week, two of our members, Michael and Jennifer Borton, who now live in Stillwater, Oklahoma, but remain members of our church through our Brookland Beyond e-church, pledged $100,000 to create the Brookland District 2 Family Assistance Fund to assist not only children at our 5 high schools who might still need assistance purchasing school lunch, but to also financially assist families who our school social workers determine are in dire straits. Let us give Michael and Jennifer Borton a hand of applause. We want to thank our community activists, Dr. Teresa Holmes, the Reverend Diaz President, Nikki Porter, and Marianne Wright, members of the Interdenominational Ministry Alliance, and others who have helped us with this project. We want to now call on the administration of District 2, Dr. Baron Davis, our school superintendent, Dr. Marshalyn Franklin, our deputy superintendent, Dr. Sabrina Suber, executive director of secondary schools, Jeff Timoni, principal of Spring Valley High School, Dr. Brenda Mack, principal of Ridgeview High School, Mark Sims, principal of Richland Northeast High School, Angela Lockhart, who's a social worker at Blythewood High School, who's going to be representing their principal, Matthew Sherman, and Abby Cobb, our lead social worker for District 2. And on behalf of the Brookland Church, we present to Dr. Davis and his staff a check initially for $50,000 that will go specifically to helping children who need assistance with lunch and other food necessities. And then later, another check for $50,000 to create the Brookland Northeast Family Assistance Fund to be used as the district sees necessary to assist any family that might be struggling financially. Dr. Davis.
I think oftentimes I don't struggle with finding the right words in situations, and particularly in tough situations, I've seemed to have been able to have a gift to try to give some sort of a vision or a focus on that. But when we receive such kindness and a blessing our church family, whether it's the number of churches that Pastor Johnson shared with us, but specifically right here at the Brookland Church. And I feel especially blessed because the Brookland Church is my home church. And these two are my spiritual leaders. And I'm thankful that we have the opportunity to do it here so that I can fully express myself, not just as the leader of a school district and a superintendent, but also as a Christian and a man of God and faith. There was something that happened in our school district at the start of the school year around lunches that quickly turned into a very negative story about the intent to discard food from our students. And that hurt me personally. And it was the reason why I personally took responsibility for the message that went out, because I wanted people to know that that's not what our district is about. And it was simply words on paper, but not something that was etched in our hearts and our actions. And so it's amazing to watch God take something that's negative and turn it into something that's so positive. And not because it was something that I did, but I think that he knows not only my heart, but the heart of those individuals who work with our students each and every day, and found a way to take something and take something that is negative and turn it into a blessing, not just for a few students, but something that is an access to all students and families in the community. Really taking the idea that we strive to have these premier partnerships to a whole nother level. Something I've never even imagined, and all the things that I thought about and all the conversations that I've had and all the visions that I've never thought about something like this, and just simply came right here and fell right in our lap because of these individuals here, Pastor Jackson and Pastor Johnson, to the Morton family, to our church families in this community. All took such a negative thing, came together, galvanized, and worked together to make sure that the students in our school district are taken care of like a family should. So I guess where there is a vision, there will always be provision, and God provides that. I want to thank my team for all that they do to support our students, and again, to thank our community for that. And this money will definitely go to good use. And we ensure that our students have access to what they need, because that is one of our primary focuses as a school district. So all glory be to God for providing us with this awesome responsibility, and I take it very seriously. And thank you to our church family for their support, unwavering at all times. I couldn't feel more blessed as a man. Could not feel more blessed as a man. Thank you all.
In the 1980s, our senior pastor, the Reverend Dr. Charles B. Jackson Sr., who's been the pastor of the Brookland Baptist Church for 52 years. Amen? Oh, we should give God praise for that. Amen? He has served here 52 years. I hope just to make 25, just to be dyslexic. I hope just to do 25. But he started the Brookland Foundation. And one of the 5 components of that foundation was a homeless ministry and a soup kitchen. Brookland has been feeding families forever. We seriously take to heart where God says, "Woe unto the shepherds who fails to feed the sheep." Not only do we do that spiritually, but we do that physically as well. I also want to take this opportunity to personally thank Erica Booth. She's one of our social workers in School District 2, who's a member of our church, who gave me a lot of education. We have to be very careful, Dr. Miles, what we hear in the streets and what we don't know about, and what we assume, and then things we make up. And I learned so much about the struggles of so many students in our district that just go beyond not having a lunch to eat. And so when Dr. Davis and I talked, he wanted to make sure that this just wasn't about lunch money. This would expand to make sure that every child who had a need. We don't understand, even as Abby taught me, about the number of homeless children. We don't know, and you don't know how many homeless children and families that have to find a place to stay every night. And so the second $50,000 that the Boyntons will be sending will be for that sole purpose, Erica, to be used by y'all's social work department, Abby, for any child that needs help in any type of area that will assist their education can be used so they might live out their God-given purpose. Again, to our community activists, to Diaz President, to Nikki Porter, to Teresa Holmes, and to Marianne Wright, we also thank you all so very much for your assistance in putting this together and all your work for our village. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. If any of us or any of you all from our news media will have any questions, we will answer any questions at this time.
That's a great question. I don't know off the top of my head what the total collection has been this year thus far. I did have the honor and privilege of just leaving Dent Middle School, for example, with Ford City, and had an opportunity to meet with the pastor from Ford City, Travis Green, who just also shared a donation, blessed our school district and our students at Dent with a $10,000 contribution to specifically work with our students in the area of mentoring. And so God is definitely in the blessing building, the blessing business. And so, I'm just so thankful and fortunate that I had the opportunity to serve as superintendent to see things like this taking place in our community, because I think it galvanizes and brings our community together for one common purpose, to help us focus on students, on our scholars. So today has been all about kids. And I'm so happy and so thankful that I got to spend a day only focusing on my students. It's a beautiful day.
Amen.
It's a beautiful day. I do my best. Yes. Right. I think they didn't hear me. I think I was just simply a vessel that God gave some words to put a call out there to those individuals, that those shepherds that he knew could work with their churches to ensure that the members heard the call. Everyone doesn't listen to the board meetings. Everyone doesn't read articles and follow Facebook and Twitter, but they do listen if they are in church and in attendance. And I think that message was just resonated within the multiple churches that support the Richland School District 2 community. And it means a lot to me that the individuals in our community understand the importance of taking care of the students. And so the whole idea of how are the children, and we cannot answer that until we say all the children are well. The idea that resonates in our community, I'm thankful for that and appreciative that it is now being demonstrated by our local churches and the members who attend, and the various community members who may not attend our churches. It means a lot.
Absolutely. So in Richland School District 2, we're really proud. Every one of our schools offers a backpack program, which provides meals for students over the weekend. It's solely sponsored by community partners. So whether it's our faith partners, whether it's civic groups, whether it's grants and donations. And so far this year, we have been serving over 700 students per week across the district. Yes. So it constantly changes. The last time I ran our numbers, we were probably, I believe, close to 225 students so far identified this year. And that's under the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act.
I'll add to that. The second $50,000 gives us an opportunity to try something different, and something I'm really excited about. which is this idea of creating a fund or an opportunity for any family in need to come to the school district and say, I need support or I need help with. And now we have the ability to help those families beyond just providing a meal for some students. I think that was, that's something that got a lot of headlines, and I'm glad we've addressed that. We have other things in place to help us address that as well for those families that are not qualifying for free or reduced lunch. We have a district qualification program that we're going to use to assist those families. In addition to that, this could help with that. But the future of the opportunity to assist our families who may be in need, whether it's a crisis moment that they may be in need of, or it may be a systemic issue that exists in their family that puts them in need. Now we have the opportunity to assist that family. When we send them to our school social workers, they may have a chance to say, okay, I think we can help you with this. If you don't understand, many people don't understand some of the challenges that our students have. I think kids are some of the most resilient individuals that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. We have students who come to school who don't, and all school districts do. People don't realize that they don't sleep in a bed at night, every night. They don't have their own bed. Well, this is an opportunity for us to do that. We have families who may have lost things to fires or floods, and they don't have the resources to replace those things. Now we have an opportunity, if we know these things, now we can assist those families when they may need clothing, or they may need toiletry supplies, or they may need a new bed, or they may need assistance if a student can't participate in a field study academic opportunity because they can't afford to send their students there. Now we can assist these families as best we can. And that, again, is something that when we had this issue in the beginning, I didn't even think about that. That just kind of came out of this work. And I'm excited. I am excited, and thankful for this opportunity.
Anyone else? From the public or anyone? Well, again, we want to thank you so very much for coming and joining us this afternoon. Our church believes, just as Paul did, that we must always answer the Macedonian call to aid. We are blessed that Michael and Jennifer Borton got that email, but it was a different email from on high. And where we were charged that we don't do enough, we're here to say that these churches and other civic organizations have been a part of this district and a part of this village, and will continue to be a part of the village. And let me also thank the Department of Communications, the also Strategic Planning Department, for all that you all do to make sure that there are partnerships between the community and the school district, because so many of them are doing so many great things, because we are concerned, as Dr. Davis always asks, how are the children? And we want to make sure that every child in District 2 can say, I'm doing well right now. And if they're not doing well right now, now we got a few little dollars, Abby,
Yes, sir.
to help them do better. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. There are some reception. There's a little reception, some food. We're always feeding people here at Brookland, amen? So there's some food in our Sunday school classrooms. We're going to take a few pictures, but this would end our conference, our press conference today. God bless you. Take care.